This dog's appearance made him a victim of neglect, but in due time proved that he was an extraordinary dog. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to M&R TV and hit the bell so you never miss any upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. They say that we should never judge a book by its cover. However, it is very easy to make assumptions and have an impression of something or someone based on the surface appearance. If we just base our opinions on something as temporary as physical looks, we may often find ourselves missing out on something that could have been wonderful. This dog had a very unappealing look that led to people neglecting him for so long, but later he proved that he was worth anyone's time. Just by looking at his face, you can see that Bo is unlike any other dog you would have ever come across. He actually belongs to a family of Labradors that were looked after by a breeder. This dog was actually one of a litter of 7 puppies that were born. However, there was an unfortunate incident in the womb. His siblings had taken up all the room and Bo had been pushed out of the way. Even during the time in the womb, Bo had a very rough time. Due to lack of space for him to grow, Bo had been left to develop a sunken cranium and closed-set eyes. His face had become something that does not even look real. This is certainly not what a dog is supposed to look like. He had already been cursed by the time he was born, and there was nothing he could do about it. Because of the fact that his appearance is very unique, the breeder who owned him was convinced that he would not be able to sell him. So what did he decide on doing? The owner of Bo gave him away for free, with no price attached to him at all. And after this happened, a guy who lived in Austin, Texas, took him and decided to call him Lucky. If you thought that Bo was lucky to finally get someone to take him in, then you are sorely mistaken. Trouble for the poor dog was only beginning. Since the guy who took him in had a number of cats in his home, there was a huge problem. As we all know, cats and dogs do not go well naturally, and so even Lucky and the owner's cats did not like each other. So ultimately, Bo had to be banished to the backyard. Even though Lucky and the cats did not fight anymore, as they had been separated, it was not an easy ride for the dog. He was not just left outside in the backyard. Lucky was thoroughly neglected as time went on. He was unattended for years and kept there in the backyard of his owner. After placing him there, Lucky was always by himself and was not ever given a bed to sleep on. For a few years, Lucky had stayed outside in the yard as his owner did not want him inside the house. It was clear that he favored his cats more than his poor Labrador. After Lucky turned 5 years of age, a local rescue organization found out that he was mistreated and soon attempted to intervene. They called his owner, who did not hesitate to give the dog to a foster family. Lucky would still face more hardships. Dogs are social beings just like humans, so when they are kept away from any kind of interaction, it becomes a problem. They get affected if they're not exposed and trained well to be around other dogs or other people. Lucky had been kept with literally no human or animal interaction for a few years, so he now had behavioral problems. Due to this, all his foster families would keep returning him. And even after the rescue team tried to help the dog, since his behavior was too weird, no foster family wanted to keep him. And so, in the end, Lucky had to be kept in the man's backyard once again. But animal lovers who stayed nearby were not giving up on the poor helpless dog that easily. They continued to search for a home that Lucky could live in. Then Jamie Hullett soon took notice. After the neighbors of Lucky were looking for someone who could take him in and give him shelter, Jamie got hold of the news. She works as a public relations executive and a resident of Austin. She is a volunteer who is a regular at the local rescue organizations and often brings home foster dogs and cats. One day she saw Lucky's story as she was scrolling through her Facebook. And when she read Lucky's story and plea, Jamie could immediately know that this dog was for her to help. She quickly dropped a message to her friend and said to him, "I would love to take that dog in and give him a home." And this dog was not just another pup in need for Jamie. It turned out Lucky's story was quite special and held some significance for her. Lucky's story turned out to be quite similar to what Jamie had been through in her past life. By the time Jamie was 7 years of age, she was kept in foster care for about 2 years, until she was finally adopted at the age of 9. She could relate to not having a place to live. "I wanted him to have stability, and a place he knew was his home," she revealed later in an interview. Jamie was hit right in the heart when she heard about how many times Lucky had been returned by his foster families. She felt so bad for the pup, who did not deserve to be treated this way. Jamie added, "He had already bounced around, and I just wanted him to be a dog." She was not aware of the real condition that Lucky was in, even after taking him in. And after Jamie heard enough of what she needed to hear, she did not want the dog to spend another day in that condition. She decided to go and meet Lucky directly at his owner's house in the backyard. She was absolutely appalled to see that condition he had been living in. His facial deformity was just a tiny speck of his problems. Lucky was emaciated, his ribcage protruding from his balding fur. And this was not all. After taking a closer look at the ailing dog, Jamie saw a few other problems too. She could see that the dog was also infested with so many fleas and ear mites. She did not need any more reason to take the dog with her anymore, so Jamie immediately took Lucky with her. She even changed his name to Botox. It was clear from just looking at the dog that he would need extra care and attention. When she took Bo with her, she wasted no time taking him to Hogemeyer Animal Clinic in Kerrville, Texas. Since his physical appearance evidently pointed out that he was not well, Jamie did not want to risk anything. There he was carefully examined by Dr. J. Rydberg, who gave even sadder news. Bo had tested positive for heartworm disease. If he was not treated right now, he may not survive. And after hearing about the fact that the neglected dog had heartworm disease, Jamie knew that she could not wait. And to top it all off, the weak condition that Bo was in meant that he might not be able to receive treatment. The doctor informed Jamie that the dog actually had a 50-50 chance to survive. But Jamie was not about to let this be a setback. She did not give up hope on Bo. Since Jamie had a connection with the poor dog, she wanted the doctors to do whatever they could to save him. She had asked Dr. Rydberg to do whatever was in his power to try and save Bo. This would mean that the dog would have to undergo a long process of getting treated. So eventually, Bo had to spend about a month in and out of an oxygen tank for him to recover successfully. And so since Jamie had made a special request to the doctor, she had spent every waking hour to look after Bo, the Labrador. He would often make a call to Jamie in the middle of the night if ever the sick dog's condition worsened. There were often times when the poor dog seemed like he was about to pass away. But Bo, being a tough fighter, never lost his spirit to fight. And after taking proper medical care, a few months passed by. The dog's health was progressing slowly. It was truly a blessing for Jamie to see that Bo had gained some weight too. And after his condition stabilized, he was fit enough to receive a heartworm treatment. However, the poor pup had lost his hearing senses in his left ear because of the mite infestation, and also partially blind in his right eye. After the doctors gave their best to try and get Bo to be healthy, there was good news. Bo the Labrador was finally a fully recovered and healthy dog. Since he was healthy at last, Jamie was extremely grateful to the doctors who were so persistent. And after months of waiting, Jamie could finally take her dog Bo home. He had no idea that this was going to flip life as he knew it. For the first time in Bo's life, he was allowed to spend time indoors with the new family that has now taken him under their wing. He was an outside dog, but you'd never know it because he does not want to go outside, revealed his loving new owner, Jamie. He's glad to be able to stay inside and loves to stare out the window. It may seem trivial, but to Bo, it was indeed something to celebrate. There was one other concern that Jamie had. Since she was now Jamie, the owner of Bo, she grew a little concerned that her new Labrador might not be so fond of her 13-year-old Golden Retriever mix, Riley, or vice versa. She had not introduced another dog to her previous pup for a long while now, so she did not know how the response would be. But there was actually nothing to be stressed out about. When the two dogs finally met with each other, Jamie could not have been happier to see their reaction. It was as if they had known each other for so long. Riley and Bo absolutely loved each other, Jamie then added. They're perfect for each other, even with the age difference, and even though Bo acts like a puppy, it helps Riley stay young. Since Jamie was an animal lover who constantly looked for animals that were in need of her care, she kept a lot of other animals at home, too. Bo had become a great foster brother to the number of rescue pups and kittens that had been brought to Jamie's house. One of them actually became a permanent member of their family as well. Everyone got along so well. Since Jamie was always on the lookout for animals that are neglected or in need of medical care, she eventually adopted one other rescue dog. She decided to name this new dog Scout. Bo was once again very friendly with his new foster sibling, welcoming her with open paws. And after 1 year that Jamie took him in, he has become such a changed dog, and for the better. Jamie was so glad to see that Bo went from the poor, dying, neglected dog that she took from the backyard of his previous owner to what he was now. He's so full of life, she later revealed, and he's just brought so much to us. Now, all Jamie wants is for her dogs to spend as much time as they can with her, where she would provide them with anything she can in her power to make them happy and healthy. We must keep in mind that dogs who are born with physical deformities usually have health complications later in life. Bo, who had turned 6 years old, is an exception from these other dogs, and due to this, Jamie had made a decision to have an MRI done for him. She wants to know about any potential health risks. Luckily, what the doctors found out was something positive. After going to the animal hospital to get her dog checked, the scan was able to confirm that Bo's head deformity did not affect Bo's chances of enjoying a long and healthy life. There were no signs that he would have to live with complications. After hearing this, Jamie now had a peace of mind, and so she does not worry that her dog takes risks. And it also turns out that Bo, the neglected dog, was not as useless as his previous owners thought. In the month of November, Bo has discovered that there was an intruder in the backyard. This was actually a feral hog, and so he was quick on his feet to chase the hog. After getting to it, he killed it. It would have been so troublesome to have had to call an exterminator for Jamie. It was also a big surprise for his dear owner to see that Bo had come out of the encounter without an injury. He was able to get rid of the hog without any help and without any trouble, too. This is evidence that the dog had a multifaceted personality and that being taken care of by Jamie had allowed him to fully blossom and bloom. He is certainly not an ordinary dog. Here are some dog breeds that look absolutely weird, but are still lovable all the same. Looking at this dog, you might think it looks very strange and exotic. Well, this Mexican hairless breed is indeed quite a rare breed. The dogs actually have a very interesting past. They are considered to be quite sacred by the Aztecs, Toltecs, and Mayans. This breed of dogs allegedly has healing properties. This breed is not owned by many, and the way to pronounce their breed name is very tricky. If you just take a quick glance at this dog, you will see that it is the size of a moose. However, even though these dogs are huge in size, they mostly act like a puppy, even after they turn to adulthood. These pups all have significant wrinkles and sags that underestimate their size. They are very clumsy and make for a good laugh, which is one reason why they are such a popular breed with families. The Bergamasco Shepherd is one of the most trusted sheepdogs out there. These dogs are characterized by their matted coat. There are some folks who just refer to them as dogs with dreadlocks. These dogs are definitely one of the cutest breeds to exist because they already look so cool with their natural dreads. To see them run is truly a wonderful sight. You have definitely seen this attention-grabbing Chinese crested that was featured in the infamous Ugly Dog contest that are being held every year. Many of these dogs have mohawks, while others just have their hair flowing. This tiny, hairy, weird-looking dog has been a reason for many to laugh because of their appearance. This is a dog breed that is most commonly known as mop dog. Well, if you look at the pulley, you will automatically see why they are called so. This breed is a Hungarian herder that has tight curls, making it virtually waterproof. They are strong and very active too.